when you do the evaluation and you check after you drill, you may see some other things that are not directly related to the oil industry but are useful to society. Things like lithium. Today, lithium is used for batteries for electric cars, but it's in the process of digging the ground and checking the ground that these things were discovered. You see things like gold. You see a lot of precious metals and heavy metals as you go. These now give rise to different industries. They may not be oil industry, but the knowledge from the oil industry, the pioneering effort of the oil industry has helped, in all these other mining sectors.
Hi, good morning. You're here with Gretchen Felix, and today we're going to have an interview with a really special guest. His name is Matthias Akhideno. Hi, Matthias.
Thank you for having me. Good. As I said, my name is Matthias Akhideno. I'm about 60 years old, and that's me.
Okay, nice. Can you give us a story about your lifetime? A story from like all the decades, so from 0, 10, 20, all the way to 60.
Okay. Now it makes me feel old, but
no, pretty much young.
I know. So, but I mean, through these 60 years of my life, it's been up and down, and like I said, there's always been the good, there's the bad, and there's the ugly or the not so good, but I'll try to touch a little bit about it. So in my childhood, I know I was born in the village in Nigeria, and grew up with my parents being teachers, my father and my mother. So my grandma was always with us, so I grew more with my grandmom, and then picked up in those early days what we call the wisdom from the elderly. Yeah. So I picked that up, and that has helped me a long time. And then also growing up and getting into the secondary school age, that's the time you want to do everything. You want to try everything, and literally everything. but I got away with them at the time. So don't do all of those things. Okay, we tried everything. Okay, but we got away. But the good thing is, coming to the academics, I was always in the plane, serious, with my academics, and I used to read a lot. I used to seek a lot of knowledge, and it got me representing the school in debates, representing the school in quiz competitions, and I got a few, awards in that regard through the secondary school. Okay, now getting into the university. I tried, the military, but my dad was not keen that I continue with the military because his own senior brother died in the military. Okay. So I had to quit, and I did a regular university work, and I graduated from the University of Benin in Nigeria with a bachelor's in chemistry, and then went ahead to do a master's degree in industrial chemistry, and after that did a PhD. And now I have a PhD in technology management, PhD in technology management from the Livingstone University in the United States. Mm-hmm.
So you went to school in the United States?
Though I did most of the work, around being a PhD research work, you do it almost from where you are. Actually, you'd be shocked that I just got that, at the beginning of this year, February of this year. Was when I got that PhD award. Although I had a few other trainings and degrees in between, but I just put that forward as the peak of it. Okay, so I'm married. I have children, and my children are also graduating from school now. And along that, I'm also a pastor. But my daily life, I'm a petroleum engineer involved in the oil and gas industry.
Okay. And are you retired, or are you doing that now? Presently?
I'm retired but not tired. I'm retired because I have stopped working for my primary employer, which used to be Shell International. Mm-hmm. Okay, I've stopped working for them as an employee, but I do work for them now on a consultancy basis. But I'm also working for other people in the industry that need the services of my profession. So I'm freelance, more or less, in the petroleum sector. Okay, so I work for you, you pay me.
Okay, nice. And so as your function, you're a?
I'm a petroleum engineer. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And what can you tell us more about your function as a petroleum engineer?
Okay, I can say that we've brought good to the world a lot,
Yes.
and then a bit of bad.
Okay.
But it's interesting that the bad travels more than the good. Okay. Now, in the petroleum industry, as you know, is part of the oil, is part of the energy sector.
Yes.
Okay, we actually produce the gas that is used to heat homes.
Yes.
We produce also the gasoline that is used to drive the cars, the diesel that is used to drive the cars,
Yes.
fly the jets,
Yes.
and all those kind of things. But also the containers, the plastic, the medicine. Actually, most of the medicine that you take today, they have a hydrocarbon base line, and a number of the pharmaceuticals also derive from that. So it's a whole big industry and carries economy of many nations on its back. Okay, so my day-to-day job is to connect the oil in the ground and the gas in the ground to the surface where it is used to provide all these services to industry. So I drill the wells to bring it to surface for use.
Nice. And you guys only do that with gas?
No, we do that with oil.
Yes.
We do that with gas,
Okay.
and of course also with water. So these
Okay.
three occur together: oil, gas, and water.
Okay.
So we do for all three.
Okay. Nice. And then that you did it like your whole life, spend only at the company shop.
So I did not spend all my life in Shell. First of all, when I finished school, I was a lecturer at the university. So I lectured in the university for a while, and then I joined Shell. Now, but while working in Shell, I had the opportunity to work in different countries, and then also in different sectors. Different countries do different things. I was Shell staff, but for instance, I was posted to Norway. And in Norway, I did something different. In Kazakhstan, I did something different. In Oman, I did something different. And I also had the opportunity of going to the North Pole in the Arctic. I did something different. So it gave me an opportunity to do many different things in my life. Yeah. So though I worked with Shell as a primary employer, but I did many things.
So you're still a petroleum engineer, but
Yes.
hands off, you could say.
Yeah.
pretty
Yes.
much.
Yes.
Okay.
Like today, I'm not going to the sea offshore or going to the bush or going to the desert to drill, but the technique, the technology to do it and how to do it, I know that. So I provide that service to all the different companies that ask.
And about you said you guys drill. What did you learn all your years of experience of going down under the ground?
Yeah.
Be it with water, sand, or whatever surface of the earth, but basically going deep down.
Yes, going deep down. Sometimes we go as deep as like 10,000 feet, 15,000 feet. Now you can quickly just change your mind and look at it like 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers, like driving the distance of 20 kilometers. But this time you are going all the way down, and you are not going down with it. You are using a number of instruments, and so what I learned from it particularly is to be able to anticipate, to be able to read the signs that you see and be able to predict what is further down. So as we drill, I'm able to analyze the things that we encounter and predict to an extent what goes further down. So that also helped me in primary life. It also helped me in life to be able to read early warning signs, early signals of things that are about to happen or things to come. So it taught me and sharpened me to be able to be proactive in the things that I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Proactive and not reactive.
And
Okay.
not reactive. Yeah.
Okay, smart. And what is the most valuable thing or what type of commodity you guys found while going down?
Okay,
Unexpectedly.
Yes, unexpectedly is maybe when you are going down just to check
Yes.
and you hit big oil of big commercial quantity.
Yes.
We find that. Also, sometimes when you do the evaluation and you check after you drill, you may see some other things that are not directly related to the oil industry but are useful to society. Things like lithium. Today, lithium is used for batteries for electric cars, but it's in the process of digging the ground and checking the ground, that these things were discovered. You see things like gold. You see a lot of precious metals and heavy metals as you go. These now give rise to different industries. They may not be oil industry, but the knowledge from the oil industry, the pioneering effort of the oil industry has helped, in all these other mining sectors.
Nice. Yeah. And why you guys are going with the intention of getting petroleum or oil, gas, and if you guys found those type of commodity, what do you guys do with them? You guys collect them, or you guys put another company in consideration with the founded commodity?
Yeah, so this is the power of focus. If you say because you find something, you change your focus and you go there, you lose your primary focus. So the primary focus of the oil and gas sector is to develop oil and gas. But what they then do is that these other things can be parallel industries, either floated by the same company. Okay, you will see today now many of the former oil companies are changing their names to become energy companies. So they are no longer for petroleum, oil and gas alone. They are now looking at the whole energy sector.
Yes.
Okay, from drilling in the desert, we realize the power of the sun. Okay. And today, most of the oil companies are sponsoring solar research, solar energy as part of what they found when they were drilling. So to answer you, you keep focused on what you came for, but then you give the opportunity to other industries to develop the other things that you find.
Okay, nice. Really interesting. Yeah. Okay, nice. And what can you say about your journey as a pastor?
Like when I was doing my intro, I did say I'm a pastor. Yes. That's a very interesting and a very personal journey, which I like to share, very much. In my journey as a pastor, I've actually come to find out, number one, that God is real. God is real. You see, I go about and people argue, does God exist? If God is existing, why is there flooding? Why is there fire? Why is there all those kind of things? They start asking all sorts of questions. But what I realized, in my journey as a Christian and as a pastor, is that when you have that personal relationship with God, then He takes the time to explain to you who He is. It's just like, in the street, I don't go about telling people who I am.
Yes.
But when I have, you are my friend or you are my son, I can sit down like we are sitting down now and tell you who I am. Every other person can have questions about me, they can have doubts about me, but until they become my friend or they become my son, that they can really know the truth about me. So what I found out as a pastor is that the more you get closer to God, the more God reveals Himself to you, and the more understanding you begin to have about all these things. I've also realized that being a pastor is not just for me alone, but it's to be able to reach out to other people. To be able to reach out. Your life must make impact to other people's lives. Otherwise, it's a selfish and wasted life. So I like that part of it.
And the Bible says,
yes,
you must be a servant too.
Yes, to all. Yeah.
Yes.
To be a servant. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So you was a pastor, petroleum engineer, and now that you're a pastor full time?
Yes
and
no.
Okay. And now that you're a pastor, like what's one of your purpose that you want to see come to pass, or basically a desire, an experience that you want to desire?
Yes.
Okay. Or a desire that you want to experience. Yeah.
Yeah. So just to first let you know why I say yes and no. I said yes because somehow it's not really possible to do the work of God partially. You say, okay, I'm going to pray for somebody, but because I'm not a full-time pastor, I pray for 30 minutes instead of 1 hour. No, if you pray for somebody, you pray the full length. Yeah. Okay. Now, so I also said that because I am not earning money or collecting salary or any payment from anybody because I'm a pastor. Okay. So that's why I said yes and no, because if I take it like a job, then after preaching a message or after reaching out to somebody, then I collect salary, then it becomes like a full-time job, like an employment. Yes. That's why I said that. Okay. Now coming to my desire, my expectation, my wish as a pastor, my wish is that everybody can come to know the Lord Jesus Christ as their Lord and personal Savior. You see, when you know something in your heart, it's very, very difficult to put it in another person's head. But when that person has a personal experience and a personal exposure to it, it becomes easier for that person. It's just like you go to the doctor, you tell the doctor, I'm not feeling fine. They run all the tests, and all the tests look good. But you know you are not feeling fine.
Yes.
That is a knowing.
Yes.
That is a knowing. The parameters may show that blood test is okay, but you know you are not feeling fine.
Yes.
Now, this is my wish, is that everybody will have a knowing of who God is. And then when he comes back again, all of us make it to joy of God. That's my wish. Yeah.
And you said you're from Africa. What can you say about Africa? Because me personally, I find Africa, I see everybody that's black or whatever, most of us origin is from Africa. And I see till the day of today that most of us, in one way or another, is still enslaved financially, socially, emotionally, or what type of area in life. What can you say about that based on?
Yeah, first and foremost, I am very proud to be an African. And if I were to have a choice again and again and again, I would choose to be an African. And there are many reasons why I believe so. Maybe another day we can go deep into the reasons why I believe that. Now, but one of the things we need to know is that Africa is the future of the world today.
That's true.
All the powers that you have known before now, their time is up. The political power of the influential West is dying. The economic power of the West is no longer holding. Okay? Now the resilience to be able to withstand things that are not going good, to be able to withstand shock, is dying in the West. Now, if you talk about continuity of the human race, if you look at, for instance, global warming today, you look at climate change today, you will see that Africa is literally green.
Yes.
The industrial West is actually the ones that have contributed to the climate change that we are talking about today.
Yeah.
So if you look at the future, the next 100 years, you will see that continuity remains in Africa. The African population is extremely young, extremely talented, and are resilient because they have grown up the hard way. So they hold the key for the future.
Yeah.
They hold the labor market for the future. They hold the land mass for the farm of the future. They hold the land mass for the industry for the future. So nobody wants to belong to the past.
Yes.
Nobody wants to be written away.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm happy to be an African now, because the future of the world is in Africa. Yeah.
Nice. And what do you have to say more about most of us are still enslaved in our mind, one way or another. You see it more socially, financially,
right,
emotionally, physically, or one way or another.
Yes.
What do you have to say about
that? Yeah, the issue of that is that it took quite a while. Slavery and slave trade took a while. Mm-hmm. And it's also going to take a while to go away. But one thing we need to know, and this is sensitive, I know that I'm talking to a mixed audience now, and I'm going into some really sensitive area. One thing you need to know is that the will and interest of the slave master to let the slave go, is sometimes not so easy. So for political reasons, they can say, okay, we allow the slaves to go and freedom, but in their mind is saying no, but their actions are saying yes. So even though slavery was abolished, there were other means